Hello and welcome back with a new video, troubleshooting metadata utility, metadata generation for Windows Media Center. In this particular case, we're going to be focusing on a phenomena where the wrong movie title or no movie title is being shown, or series title is the wrong title, or no movie title whatsoever being shown. And that is basically the main description. As far as we know, the metadata information has been downloaded. In this particular case, this customer doesn't know what's going on. So let's try to dive in and look at the situation. Basically, in Windows Media Center, we have here a media file or a movie. In this particular case, where we see apparently the wrong title. And we also see not only that there is no cover art information whatsoever, but also the complete title is something completely different than what it apparently is being shown in the metadata utility. And when we actually click on the media file, we see still the same wrong title, and we see no metadata information, no description, no cover art in that particular title. So the basic main two possibilities that we have are, number one, media has been ripped into a single file, which we're going to analyze, or the media has been ripped from a DVD and kept in that DVD format. And in either case, there's a troubleshooting process which we're gonna dive into in this video. Starting with the first possible option, media has been ripped into a single file. Let's try to take a look at this particular case. We're going to first verify the information in metadata utility. And then from metadata utility, we're going to open the path for the location of that media, where that media is stored in the NAS for this particular customer. So looking at metadata utility, we see here the correct title. And as the customer mentioned, correct title, correct date, cast, director, genre. The entire overview is completely present, as well as the tagline, duration, studio, data provider, MPAA rating, community and provider rating for this particular title, as well as we can see here highlighted, the path on the NAS, as we see right now, is apparently properly selected. And now when we go into further detail analysis in the path section in the metadata utility, which we're actually, as you see on this video, we're not diving into how to manage that information because we have separate videos on that. They are all linked on this video, and you can also see in the website additional video resources for those particular topics. But we see here the full path. As we see here, we can double click to open in the Windows Explorer. And when we actually do that, what we want to do is just to note here, we want to verify whether the media has been ripped into a single file and whether there is no metadata information, either XML files or cover arts found, which are right now what we need to establish. So we double clicked, as we just saw in the path section, and we opened the target location, and as we can see here, we have a single file ripped, but there is no additional either XML files generated in that location or cover art information downloaded. Therefore, if that information is missing, Windows Media Center cannot show data that isn't there. So in this particular case, we're seeing that this particular case is applicable and possible if this media, as is the case in this particular example, has been ripped to a single file. So to basically resolve the situation, we're going to place the record in edit mode. Again, we have a video dedicated how to put the record in edit mode in Metadata Utility, which the short version is we double click on the title in Metadata Utility or click on the edit button to place the record in edit view, and we're going to check or select the media single file ripped. And so let's try to do that. We go back into Metadata Utility, as we have highlighted here, the media single file rip. We're going to select it. And once we have selected that check mark, then we're going to proceed with the actual generation of metadata information, as well as downloading the CoverArt information, and last we're going to verify that these files indeed have been properly generated. Again, on these three separate topics, or these three topics, we have separate videos which we're not going to therefore dive into how to do the metadata generation or the downloading the CoverArt information, because those are in detailed, already gone through and reviewed in separate videos. So now we're going to simply do the verification and open to the target directory. In this particular case now, as we can see, there are other files that now have been generated, and we are particularly focusing that we have now XML files as well as JPEG files downloaded, which now are going to be used by Windows Media Center to display that information when we open Windows Media Center again. Again, the generation of these files has been done through Metadata Utility, and we have those videos available for you to watch how to actually do those processes themselves. Additionally, we're going to have now some further media title changes. So just to make sure and double click, because we want to find out where did that title was coming from. And so if it wasn't in Metadata Utility, it has to be on the file. So now we're going to right click on that file, and we're going to select properties to actually look at that file itself. And as we can see here, in the title of that particular file, ripped file, in that location, there we see the entire title that was being displayed before. And so we had a combination of two factors now. One, the metadata information from Windows Media Center was not present. So it had been downloaded to Metadata Utility, but the files had not been generated to Windows Media Center. So in this particular case, our user had downloaded correctly the metadata information into Metadata Utility, but forgot to generate those files. And number two, the file did have a title in the property section. So when, as we have explained in videos before, when Windows Media Center opens, it will try to read whatever metadata information that is available to it. In this particular case, if Metadata Utility has generated the metadata information, then Windows Media Center is going to always by default look at that information first. But if that information is missing and something is shown in the properties of that particular ripped file, then it's going to read that. And that's what was happening in this particular case. So to eliminate this possibility from happening ever again for this particular title, we're going to delete the contents in the property value title, then click apply and click OK to close that property window. So let's do that. Let's go to that particular property value in the property section for that particular ripped file. And now that we selected it, we're going to simply delete that information. And once that we've deleted, as we see right here, we're going to click on apply. And next, we're going to click on OK to close the property window. So once we have that property window closed, basically we will resolve a possibility in the near future. Even if the metadata files were missing, then no wrong title will be shown in Windows Media Center. It will just show the actual name of the movie with no metadata information. That was puzzling to this customer, that he kept saying, as we saw previously, a complete wrong name, and he kept telling us, why is that? There's something wrong. And now we know what the problem is. Now, the second option, which is not applicable in this case, but we still have to consider it, it could have been that the file was ripped from a DVD in the same exact DVD format, which we have also dedicated videos for that. And so in that particular case, if that were the case, we will recommend to go through those videos, which we have here, just a sample of the many videos that we have, but the critical ones for us would be to see, number one, how to add movie information. We have videos and we have documentation that you can click in our website and look at those videos, or look in the website documentation as well. The next possibility could have been that the path is wrong, meaning that it had the correct NAS path location had not been selected or entered properly, and so basically Media Center is looking in a wrong directory that is not available for Windows Media Center. And so that could have been a situation, but it was not in this particular case. But we have a dedicated video for that. The next possibility, which are the two that we found today, was the XML file generation. We do have a separate video dedicated to that, and documentation in the website as well. So we welcome you guys to visit those two sources for that information, as well as it could have been a match of either or. In this case, was both. It could have been that the XML file was present, but the cover art was missing, or vice versa, that the cover art had been downloaded, but the XML data was missing. In this particular case, they were both missing. So we have also a dedicated video for cover art information. So again, if any of those two were missing, you still have the resources, the videos, documentation available. In this particular case, because they were both missing, we did both actions. We downloaded the XML file and generated those files, and we downloaded the cover art information, and that is what we basically saw. If we actually quickly go back to the NAS source, as we can see, we generated the XML files, and we also generated the necessary cover art information. More than generation is we downloaded that information, and now it's being made available for Metadata Utility to download that media information, and then Windows Media Center will be able to display that information. So again, going back, we will have those two resources. And last but not least, why is that video TS resource? As we see here, let's go back quickly to the NAS location. We see on the title bar here, where we have the name of the NAS and the path and what have you, we see video _TS. Why is that? The long story short is that is what Windows Media Center needs to read properly the media. So the whole description, how, why, and what have you, is in that particular documentation, description path video _TS. As we see here, 26, we have a complete video. We have complete documentation for you guys to visit and get yourselves more information if that is needed. Now, the results that we are expecting now is that the metadata information for media will be shown properly. So just to be sure, let's relaunch Windows Media Center again and take a look at it. And as we see right now, not only we see the media in the correct title, but now we see it all beautiful with the rest of other movies showing the correct title and the CoverArt information. And amazingly, now if we want to just triple check, if we actually click on the actual file, we can now see the synopsis, the correct title, the year, when that was generated. We can see the rating R, in this particular case, the length of the movie, 2 hours and 3 minutes, and the actual detailed description of what is the entire synopsis of the movie, which is basically the entire metadata information that was missing in the target location where the single media file rep was located, but that information had already been downloaded to Windows Media Metadata Utility, basically. So now we generate that information, and as you can see, it's all available. The good news is that this has been a rare case, but it's possible, and therefore we have now a dedicated video for this particular kind of troubleshooting. We have here another example where, for example, the information is fully matching. All the metadata information is found in Metadata Utility, as well as all the information has been properly generated and is being shown properly in Windows Media Center. So if there are any other questions, feel free to navigate on our website for all the other videos and documentation files that we have available, as well as if there are further questions, always you can reach us out in the contact section and open up a ticket if there is a problem. And obviously for our users, we always will have a way to find a solution for any kind of troubleshooting. But with the robust community that we have seen that in most cases, the documentation alone will help you to provide with a resolution. We thank you for watching and look forward to see you the next time.